So when it comes to politics, a lot of people are passionate and have their own opinions, especially with this coming election. A lot of tension is in the air because people are very opinionated on what they believe. I've seen some things that are reasonable, some are unreasonable. There are people who are informed, misinformed. There are people who just believe what they want to believe and go with the flow kind of thing. But I just saw an opinion that is kind of ridiculous, and I just wanted to show y'all, man. Go ahead and roll the clip.
If you are a minority and you are voting Trump, I do believe that you might be touched in the skull, or at least a little bit half-witted. And the reason why I would say that, or even audaciously imply that, is the fact that you have, therefore, chosen to vote against your own self-interest. Which, I'm sorry to inform you, but you are always going to be your own best advocate, right? And so if you are not advocating for a better life for yourself and, more secure rights for yourself, I just want to know kind of where that mentality is coming from mentally. Because we used to put you guys in institutions, but now you roam the streets and you have the right to vote. So, novel idea.
So I'm not going to go completely in on her because I do think that she's coming from a genuine place. But one thing I cannot stand is when people bring up race and try to uplift another culture, but what they're doing and what they're saying actually just it goes against what they're saying. They're actually dividing and making things worse. So what she's saying is basically, if you're black or Hispanic or any type of minority, you should not be voting for Trump. You should be voting for Kamala because she represents you. She's a minority. But the problem with that is, why would you want an entire country, especially one who's voting for its leader, to be so caught up in race when voting for that leader? Let's say, and this isn't necessarily the debate of the video, but just hear me out. So let's say Trump is exactly what the country needs, but Kamala is black or whatever she is. Am I not allowed to vote for Trump because I have to vote for Kamala, or vice versa? Let's say there's somebody who is Caucasian and they think that Kamala is the perfect candidate and they don't agree with anything that Trump says. Are they not allowed to vote for Kamala and they have to vote for Trump? Because the thing is, a lot of times what people do is they try to, and I think it's a white guilt thing. A lot of people who are white, they have like this guilty conscience of, the past. So they feel like they have to say things to uplift minorities when what they're really doing is it's more detrimental, because what you're saying is whatever race you are, you should vote for that race because they represent you. So me being a black person, I should have to vote for Kamala is what you're saying. So what you're basically saying is vice versa. Someone who's white has to vote for Trump. And we all know the country is majority white. That's just a fact. There's no disputing that. So by your definition, my vote doesn't even matter because Trump is going to make, or he should make, he should win the election anyway, because everyone who's white should vote for Trump. And I'm not debating on who should vote for who. That's not the topic of this video, but it's just what she's saying is ridiculous. If you're over 18 and you're planning on voting, the last thing that you should be worrying about is their race. You should be looking at their policies, their character, what they've done in the past, their history, and basically just overall what they can do for not just you and just for the country. And I think that that's one thing that is not highlighted enough. A lot of people, when they vote for whoever, it's a lot of times for themselves, which I understand. Obviously, you want the best possible outcome for yourself. But a lot of people, they don't really speak on what's best for the country. So what's best for you may not necessarily be what is the best outcome for everybody, because if a policy affects me personally but everybody else has to suffer for it, I don't think that that's necessarily the best option to go for. You know, maybe that's a little wishful thinking on my part, but that's just how I feel. And it's just it's kind of sad that people will really go with whoever is just a minority. You know, I'm not saying that Kamala shouldn't be president. I'm not saying that Trump should be or shouldn't be. That's not the debate of this video, like I've said before. But I just think that if you do vote for Kamala and you're a minority, that shouldn't be the reason. Obviously, it's going to play a factor, and you know, you will feel a little bit more connected with her. But at the same time, if Trump's just a better candidate, why would you vote for her if you know that she's not the best candidate? And it's just it's ridiculous. Like, people should be able to vote for whoever they feel is the best candidate, regardless of race or even gender. It's sad, man. It's sad, especially when you have people like this promoting you to vote for race. So instead of voting for a candidate, I'm voting for a race. It's ridiculous. And like I said earlier, what she's saying is it's more divisive than it is bringing people together. You know, like I said, I think a lot of it comes from, you have a lot of white people who feel guilty and they feel like they have to make up for it. If you genuinely just want a better situation for you and everyone else, regardless of what their race is, that's one thing. If you just genuinely feel that way. But if you're trying to make up for what you feel you should be doing, that's different. You know, you can't say things. You have to be careful what you say, because what you say can be more detrimental than positive. Because a lot of times what you have is people say things that are allegedly, you know, supposedly pro minority, when really what they're just saying is anti-white. But that's a whole nother video. You know, a lot of people, they act like you can't be racist towards white people, which is ridiculous. You know, any race can be discriminated against or have hate towards them. And a lot of times what you have is people who they'll say things that are supposed to be uplifting to other races, when in actuality what they're doing is just hating white people. But that's a whole nother video. But I just want you guys to know, regardless of what race you are, I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, anything that exists, whoever you feel is the better candidate, that is who you should be voting for. I don't care if you're a minority and you want to wear a MAGA hat, if you are white as can be and you think everything about Kamala just screams leadership and she should be in office, if that's who you feel, just vote for who you feel. And regardless of what their race is, whatever it turns out to be, that's what it turns out to be, or even gender in this case. But I just want to know, for today's question, do you feel that you should vote for somebody based on their race because they represent you? Let me know how you feel in the comments. I appreciate you guys for watching the video, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.